How's it going, folks? Welcome to another sculpting video, where today I'm going to be sculpting Greg from Overthegardenwall. Overthegardenwall is a miniseries that was released in November of 2014 on Cartoon Network. And while the show celebrated its 10-year anniversary last year, I hadn't seen it until just recently. If you haven't seen this show yet, I highly recommend you do. As I said, they celebrated the show's 10-year anniversary in November of last year, and I actually planned on having this video ready for that, and even finished recording everything a few months in advance. But your boy really likes to procrastinate, and didn't start editing this video till a few days before you were seeing it. So yeah.
Did you know that dinosaurs had big ears, but everyone forgot because dinosaur ears don't have bones?
No, I didn't know that, Greg.
That's because it's not true. It's a rock fact.
I started the sculpt by blocking out the head and body, both with subdivided cubes. Moving on to the legs, I do the same thing and add a mirror modifier, then shift the verts to get Greg's thighs to their proper glorious thickness. Then moving up the body, I create Greg's iconic elephant head teapot with a subdivided cube, and by extruding out the top to create the base plate of the pot. I then add another subdivided cube to shape the teapot elephant trunk, and use a curve to make the teapot handle. Moving on to the ears, I use the same process as the rest, just trying to get the basic ear shape. I then duplicate the ear and plop it on the other side of the head. Then, I do the same thing to create the legs and extrude little nubs out for his feet. The hands, believe it or not, yet again, are more subdivided cubes shaped and extruded to fit the shape of Greg's little fingies. With that, I moved to his arms. I had a little bit of a hard time trying to decide what I wanted to do with them. I tried using a subdivided cube, as you can see here. But later on, you may notice me change my mind again, because I am just built different like that. Now starting to get into more details, I start working on the hair, which I made from curves. The way I learned to make hair is to make a circle curve and edit the verts to get the shape that you want. You can then take a curve path object and use the shape you created with the circle to get a nice looking cartoony style hair. I then start plopping the hair strands on the head. The way I do that is by using the snap function, which basically just makes it so that when you move a vert in edit mode, it snaps to the closest face it can find. This just makes it a lot easier to make sure the hair is actually attached to the head. And with that, Greg now has a very stylish weave. Now that I'm done blocking out the basic shapes and adding his hair, I'm moving on to sculpting. To start the sculpt phase, I raise the subdivision modifier count and apply it so that his head is nice and smooth to start sculpting on. I then move into sculpt mode and remesh his head to give him enough vertices to work with. Then, moving on to sculpting, I start by puffing up his cheeks to a proper, more suitable size. I then create a little mouth hole in the eye cavities. It is at this point I realize that he's looking more like Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons than Greg. I then move on to adding eyes to the gaping eye cavities so as to try to remove the nightmare fuel factor and hopefully keep him out of your dreams tonight. Then I start prepping the body for sculpting through basically the same process as the head. I also duplicate the body and remove the top half to give me the base for his overalls. Then, I move on to creating the straps and buckles of the overalls with cubes and do the same thing for the collar of his shirt and bow. I then go through and add some finishing touches to the face to yet again try and make it less creepy. Also at this point, I start working on making his bag and give him a nose. Moving to his hands, I rig them and his arms off camera because I forgot to press record. I use the rig that I've created for his hands to fold his fingers into the pointing gesture he's doing in the scene I am referencing. Here you can see I am remaking the arms like I said I would, but this time I actually may end up keeping them. I then remesh and shape the legs into a walking position, because Greg is on a mission and nothing can stop.
Go. I tripped on my own candy trail.
Finishing up, I start shaping the body of Greg's frog.
Frog named Kitty. I'm gonna call him Wirt. My frog's name's Wirt Jr. George Washington George, the President, Mr. President, Benjamin Franklin, Dr. Cucumber, Dr. Skipper, and you were there too, Jason Funderburker.
I then make a bean to act as his legs and start sculpting the eye lumps, and this rather dapper frog is starting to take shape. I finish up by giving him feet, his other legs, a mouth, and eyes. And placing Jason Funderburker atop of Greg's head basically finishes up the sculpt, and it's time for the finished product. Thank you for watching this video, and please do consider subscribing. I have another video soon where I will be printing and painting this little guy, as well as maybe a video where I make Wirt. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please consider checking out this video where I sculpted Jinx, or this one which YouTube really thinks you will like. Anyways, with that, thank you for watching, and have a good day.